Welcome back, everybody. So, do you guys remember the other day when we talked about the pollen trap and showed you how it all goes down there and stuff? So today, my father is going to take it out and show you the actual pollen and talk about how it helps us with our allergies. Over to you, Dad.
Thanks. So here, hold this, and I'm going to take the camera for just a second.
Okay.
And I'm going to show everybody why we're doing this. So this is this Apimaye hive, everybody. If for all you guys out there who have just the old-fashioned classical hives that are wood, I have 2 of these Apimaye hives just because I like to experiment a little bit. That's just who I am. These are awesome hives. I should probably do a review on these at some point, but I've actually had these shut for the winter time to help all the drafts and stuff like that, and to keep the robbers out. But it's definitely getting to the point where it's not that cold out here anymore, and I've just been opening and closing those. So that being said, there is a ton of pollen coming in. So I don't have the pollen trap, actually the attachment actually on the collection tray in the back, but just because there's so much pollen, it really is falling off of them. So I'm not even robbing them. I'm just taking what just happens to fall off. So I'm going to go and show you what that looks like here really quickly. So what you do is you go back here, and if I wanted to put in the pollen trap, I would take out the red plug right here and replace that all the way in. But for here, just open this up, and you see a little bit of pollen. I mean, some of it already fell off. You can see there's some over here. So what I'll do is I'll just take off this trap part on top and go ahead and dump this into a container over here. And there's some water in here, evidently, from the rain. A little bit. So I'm going to give this back to Sebastian. I'm going to take this. Basically, the water stays on the bottom. Pollen stays up here on top. And what we're going to do is very easily just take it, dump what we can. And you'll see there's big old particles of pollen in here. So periodically we'll come in here and clean this out. Get all the gunk out of here. And if I had the pollen trap, I will put the pollen trap on at some point when we actually get honey flow, but it's still too early in the year. I'm gonna get the water out of here because obviously if you have water and stuff, it tends to spoil. So I don't want things to spoil, obviously. I'm gonna get all this out of here. This will dry out overnight. We don't have any rain coming. So I'm gonna put this back on, this back on. As you can tell, I have Sebastian out here with no suit on, and truth be told, I probably don't have to have a suit as well. I'm too old, and I just don't like to get stung. It's just not fun. I'm a big fan. I will do plenty of videos actually when it comes down time to actually coming to work the hives, but for right now, we haven't gotten there yet. So here's a little bit of our pollen. I'll go back and I'll separate this, and we'll put this into jars, and we'll store this and refrigerate it and use it for our own consumption. You can put it on cereal, on yogurt, all that kind of stuff. But you can tell. There you go. There's your pollen. I'll take some more of this.
Wow.
I'll clean all this other stuff out.
That's yellow.
It is? Yep. That's what we're
real
currently
yellow.
getting. Yep. It's probably all the dandelions that are currently blooming. So that being said, here, I'll take this again. I will exchange, hold it just like that. I'll walk over here and show everybody kind of what the hives are looking like today. You know, these girls tend to be nice and calm. But again, I mean, I could probably wear less of a suit. But I just don't want to get stung. I'm just not a fan of being stung. I've been stung a couple of times, generally because I've been an idiot and done something I should not have done. And they give me a warning and just let me know, hey, please don't do that. But the good news is all my hives actually made it through the winter, all 5. I have a 6th Apimaye hive in the garage. We lost a swarm that we captured last year. We're going to take that Apimaye hive, bring it outside pretty soon, and I'll probably do a walkaway split, and I'll actually show you guys. I'll do a video on the walkaway split, what that looks like, what the merits of it are.
Dad, the bee just flew in.
And it's because you're in their flight path. And I will transfer over all the genetics of the hive I want, which actually is probably that Apimaye hive over there. That hive has been awesome. It's awesome. Queen, they actually had the most honey last year. They had so much honey. I had 2 full supers, and I was able to actually fill a whole super of this hive in the middle, which I got late in the year that did not have enough honey. So that hive over there shared plenty with this hive over here. And so we've done well. These hives have all done well. You can tell he's not afraid to be over here. Don't be afraid of honeybees, everybody. I probably don't have to be in a suit, but I choose to be because I just don't want to get stung.
Are you going to take the divider thingy out?
April 1st, I will take out what's called the entrance reducer. We keep this to keep the draft out, keep the mice out. And you can see these guys are definitely hauling in pollen. There's a ton of pollen right there. They're dropping it on the entrance. So they're trying to bring in pollen, can't get it in fast enough. What's interesting is, I'm not going to do it, but when I worked with this hive in the past, they make a lot of honey, but they're also what we call hot. They're a little temperamental, so if I mess with them, they tend to rush me, and then they leave me alone. But they just let me know that they don't like to be messed with. So anyways, everybody, quick update. Got a little bit of pollen, not too much, but just a little bit of what happens to fall off their legs. Eventually, once we get honey flow here in the next, probably, I would say, I don't know, probably 3 weeks to a month, the honey is going to be coming in hot and heavy, and we'll put a pollen trap on the Apimaye, and we'll collect a whole bunch of pollen. And I'll do a video at some point once I clean this area out, but I have a pluot right here, so it's a cross between a plum and an apricot. You can see these are already blossoming here in North Texas. It's spring, everybody, just in case you weren't too well aware. I have another pluot over here, which is about to blossom. These are all bare root trees from last year. Yeah. And I have a persimmon over here. There's a persimmon. I have another persimmon over here. And then I have one apricot over there. Probably hard to see, but I have an apricot right here that has yet to blossom and leaf out yet. And then I'm going to have another apricot somewhere probably over in between the pluot, persimmon, and the other pluot. And then in here, it's hard to see. I really have to come in here and clean all this, all the grass and stuff out of here. There's tons of blackberries. So if you don't see our blackberries, man, the bees love the blackberries when it's time for all this stuff to grow out. We got tons of blackberries. We have blueberry bush over here as well. But tons of berries, tons of things like that where they like to pollinate. So we like to give them ample opportunity to be able to pollinate. And so just a quick example of the blackberry is, you can see it's that time of the year. Everything's leafing out. We're blossoming. Everything is growing. So things here in North Texas are heading into spring. So that's it, everybody. I want to give you a quick update on the pollen. I said I would. So that's what we have for right now. And at some point soon, we'll come back and do a lot more. Thanks, everybody.